Hello friends, this is Gail Anderson. Good to see you today. Hopefully you saw my warning that we were coming on about 1:15 today. I'm here with my husband Kirby.
Hey everybody.
Always a blessing to be able to have his input here, and today especially so. Thanks so much for joining us, all of you. And thanks for the hearts. If you like what we're talking about today, please do tap on the screen, give us some hearts. The last few weeks we've been talking a little bit about marriage. And one of the issues we often have in a marriage or with a friend or even at work is being able to talk freely and in a way that does not hurt the other person when we have an issue or we want to make a change. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, most of you are probably wives, and so that's why I feel like it's going to be most helpful to know from a husband standpoint how they would like to be approached. And we'll use this as, you know, he's the boss too, you're the underling. How would you approach him? So I'm just going to have Kirby talk right now about how to do that in a way that's very cooperative, that's win-win, and so you're not hurting the other person, putting up their defenses, whatever. So
essentially this is about you want them to come to reconsider,
yes,
or to consider something, to make a change, something that they've been doing, made a decision on, and you want them to reconsider.
Something really big, like
yeah,
not taking their shoes off when they enter the house because it makes more work for me. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say that's really big. No, so essentially, when Gail asked me to talk on this, it really comes under the general guidelines of how to make an appeal, how to appeal to somebody to reconsider it, either with new information or to be able to maybe hear something that they've not heard before, that it's a bigger deal. And there are times that maybe you've alluded to things, and I just haven't
brushed
really,
it off.
yeah, I haven't
Sure.
I haven't really fully understood just how much it either bothers you or how big of a deal it would be to you if I would do something different along that line. Gail's actually pretty good about this. I don't know if you've always been good, but
No.
I think of you as being good now. And I think we've both just gotten better. So there's a few principles on just making an appeal to somebody so that the other person just doesn't overreact or really has a chance to really hear what the other person is saying without just jumping in.
Yeah, hang on just a second. Friends, if you want to share this broadcast, swipe to the right and you can share it with your followers if you think it's something that they can benefit from.
So I think number one, a couple of things right up front is just to choose your timing right. The worst thing is if Gail comes in and talks to me when I'm just getting started in a project, or even just a TV show or a movie or something like that.
Or just come home from work, just in the door, you haven't even had time to set down your briefcase.
Right. You know, as poor husbands, our brains get full, and it's like
Yes.
we can only process so much, even if we have a desire to. So I think just choosing that time is really good. And sometimes that can even be a thing of I'd like to talk with you about something here over dinner. Would that be a good time, or something like that? You have to be careful on that, depending on what's been going on, because other times that can cause you to be defensive, and that's one of the things we want to avoid.
And if you have kids, of course, you don't want to be doing that at the dinner table.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. In our house it would be now because we have no kids here anymore.
The other thing is just choosing your words well. And this is one of the things that Gail and I talk a lot about, and that's learning to speak I language. And oftentimes when we are talking about something that's bothering us about the other person or something that's troubling us in some way, we tend to want to blame. And
It's
so,
more of a you always
do this.
never.
Yeah, and it
Those
really
things are not helpful.
really needs to be phrased more in the thing of, I need to talk with you about something that I'm having a hard time with, or
Exactly.
this is something that's really important to me, so it would mean a lot to me if you could just hear me out first. Those kinds of things that help me to prepare and just to let me know this is a big deal to you.
Exactly. And another way to say that is, I'm having a problem with.
Yes.
Okay, you know, let's talk about not taking the shoes off at the door. I'm just doing that just to give an example of what we're talking about here today. Honey, I just find myself having a real hard time with something and just wondering if you'd be able to let me just talk and listen for a minute.
And let me help you.
Well, yes, and say, I need your help.
Yeah.
I'm having to vacuum the floor 3 times a day because of people tracking things in. So I need your help. And it may not even be something that everybody has a hard time with. The issue is, I'm having a hard time with it, and can you help me? Let him be the rescuer. Let him be the knight in shining armor. Oh, I'd be happy to help you do it. That's simple. My gosh, of course I can do that.
That's probably one of the biggest points out of this whole thing. That's
Yes.
what I've always told Gail to do, is I want to help you. So if you come across in a way of blaming or trying to argue with me or back me into a corner, my defenses go up.
Exactly.
But if you appeal to me and allow me to be your hero, allow me to be someone who can help you do this, that's something that I rally to, and that's really important. The other thing is, I've already just alluded to it, is to do this all in a way so that you help the other person just to kind of drop their defenses. Because immediately when you talk about something that's maybe got a little bit of history or maybe something that a person feels strongly about, you just immediately raise the wall.
Absolutely.
And so just the way that you come across, your words, your tone of face, all of that stuff.
Us
really,
wives are very bad about that.
Really makes well, you just have some powerful things that can push our buttons and vice versa. I think the other thing that's been very helpful in something like this too is when you're asking them for reconsideration, is making sure that you let them know that you're not pushing for an immediate decision right now. I just wanted to share this with you. I'd like for you to reconsider this and just to think on it.
So just letting them have time to reconsider.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been good about that, though.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something that's tough for all of us, but I think that's good. That just shows that a person doesn't have to make that decision right then, and you're not trying to be heavy-handed on this.
Exactly.
And then probably the last thing that I would say is that if you have had some history in the past on this, where it has been, an argument or there has been a back and forth already.
I'm sure none of these people who are listening have ever had that happen in their marriage.
No, but if they do,
issues.
then the thing is, sometimes it's better to make an appeal in writing. And Gail and I have done that several times with each other, whether it's just an email or just a simple note, and just say, and that's also a great way to drop the defenses, because we're not there, you don't have to say anything. You can have a chance to listen to it, to reread it if you need to, and it also gives the writer a chance to really choose her or his words carefully, so that it's not coming across judgmentally or any other to be misunderstood. So those are all big subjects in and of themselves, but I think that's what's really helped me, is if I can be put in a position where I can help Gail, and I'm not just being argued with or, that kind of thing. Okay. That really allows me to do that.
Were you going to give an example, an actual real life example from our marriage?
Yeah, I think probably one of the biggest things was I just got done teaching on this weekend. I gave an example of, we took a family vacation one time, and we had just bought a camper, and at the end of the season, and to take advantage of the season, as when all the kids were there, we decided to take a week and go up to the Upper Peninsula. And Gail was in support of it. We were excited about the idea. But what I did not do is that we did not come up with a budget for this. I just determined, hey, it's all going to work out. It's a worthy cause. We'll take it out of savings, and we'll really try and watch our spending, be minimalist about it. It'll all work out. That was fine for me. I was a little bit more of a free spirit with that. But what I did not fully understand is how much this bothered Gail. It was important to her. Our savings were not that much, and we had built them up hard, and so it caused her to be unnerved that whole time, and she couldn't really fully enjoy the vacation. And it started to get, after we got into it, there was tension that was raised between us. There was a couple of times we got chippy with one another. And so even though we look back on that vacation right now, and it was very memorable, what I remember is after Gail had finally got to a place that she was able to approach me and say, listen, I just need for you to listen to me for a minute. I need to appeal to you. I know this has been I know you've been working hard at trying to keep the expenses down, but it would just help me so much if you could just take a few minutes and to have a simple budget on how much we're going to spend on gas, on food, on camping fees, and just to show me up front, just so that I know that we're within our predetermined plan. That will help me to enjoy this instead of just always worrying about it. And that was something that really helped me a lot, because obviously I wanted her to enjoy it and I wanted us to be able to get along. So we look back on that vacation right now with a great deal of fondness, but even more so to me is that great lesson that I learned. And we've never done that since. And it was because I truly understood what she needed, and she appealed to me.
And really, that's one of the top 3 things in a marriage is financial stress. So
yeah.
That's a really good example.
Money's always in there somewhere, or it makes it worse.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So is that helpful? Is that the things you wanted to cover
today?
Oh,
yeah, that's awesome. So if you know somebody that could benefit from this broadcast, please want to go ahead and post it, share it with them. Also, just want to remind you that my husband blogs. Well, we both blog, and he also has video blogs as of 2017. Those are at kirbyanderson.com, and the link is in the profile here. My email's in the profile. If you want to get a hold of me, give me comments, questions, love to hear from you. And also check out my YouTube channel, Mentoring Moments for Moms. And that will have all the scopes that I've done in the past. It's been almost a year now. You are welcome. Hopefully this helps. And next week we're going to be talking about preteen years and how to transition to adolescence. And that will be really some new stuff we haven't talked about before. So make sure you catch us when we're on the broadcast, and also tell your friends about it so they can listen as well. But just really appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here today, and check out those other videos on YouTube. Thank you.